Using the manual entry tab is pretty straightforward. When you first arrive on this screen, you're going to be met with a singular entry right here. It has 3 required fields. You have to enter a title, a platform, and a release date. Every single game is going to have these. There is a button here that if you hover over it, it'll explain what it does. But if you choose to click it, it'll add additional field names. And there's no limit to this. As the tooltip here mentions, there's no limit to the number of custom fields you can track. So to give you an example, so we can fill those in. We also have 2 additional buttons here on this screen where if we hover over the plus down here, it'll tell us click to add another game entry. And if we hover over submit, it'll tell us click to submit all valid entries. So basically, if we push the plus here, we click the plus, we'll get another entry form that we can add another game entry. And so let's go ahead and do something like that. And then let's add one more just to show you all, like if you put something in here that is incomplete, basically, what's going to happen when you hit submit is it'll take the 2 complete ones and tell you 2 games successfully submitted, but it'll leave this one that wasn't quite right here for you, and it'll highlight what was missing. And so if we check the full library, we can see that those 2 got added. They're in the list now. But if we go back to manual entry, this is still here telling us, oh, there's an issue here, right? So if we fill these in and then hit submit, it'll take it and it'll give us back our default field here. And we can see that all 3 of them get listed in there now. It is worth mentioning that in my example here, I used an empty library that I was just adding manual entries to, so they show up immediately at the top. But if you had previously imported something, or if you had already entered a whole bunch of stuff, then all of the manual entries, if you go to check and see are they in my library, they're always going to show up at the bottom. They'll always just append. To give you an example of what that's going to look like with a full library, I've gone ahead and populated a full library in here, and I'll go into manual entry, and we'll enter just this example game here. When we hit submit, we go back to our full library, we have to go all the way to the bottom. We see it just gets added to the end. That's the manual entry tab.